5 Precept. The 5 precepts is a major part of the Buddhist practices to become more self-disciplined. Observing the precepts is a way to gain mastery of the mind. The idea of such precepts is to avoid harmful ways of behaving and speaking. To abstain from taking life of living beings. To abstain from taking what is not given or stealing. To abstain from sexual misconduct. To abstain from telling lies and any harsh speech. To abstain from intoxicants or harmful substances. Abstaining from alcohol is the single most important precept because it ensures the reliability of all the other 4. Alcohol and drugs dull the mind, causing one to slip into recklessness. The 8 precepts are the training guideline, which are observed by lay people during meditation practice or on Uposatha Day or lunar observance days. 8 precepts are based on the 5 precepts, right? Yes, with the 3rd precept of refraining from sexual misconduct extended to refrain from all sexual activities. An additional 3 precepts that are especially supportive to meditation practice. We will start with the first one. To refrain from taking lives of creatures. To refrain from taking things that are not given. To refrain from all sexual activities. To refrain from false speech. To refrain from intoxicating drinks and drugs which lead to carelessness. To refrain from meeting after lunchtime. To refrain from dancing, singing, music, going to entertainment, wearing garlands, using perfume, and beautifying the body with cosmetics. To refrain from lying on high or luxurious sleeping place. As we said, the 8 precepts are especially supportive to meditation practice. They help meditators to have a peaceful mind, do not be distracted from things so that they can keep their focus at the center of the body. Let's try at Uposatha Day, which occur on Esa week, and you will see the results. Today I have some questions about the meaning of a Buddhist word. The word sila, precepts, has many facets, the 5 precepts, the 8 precepts, the 10 precepts, and the 227 precepts. How important are the precepts? Why do we need to keep the precepts? Question. With great respect to the Venerable Luang Pho, today I have some questions about the meaning of a Buddhist word. The word sila, precepts, has many facets, the 5 precepts, the 8 precepts, the 10 precepts, and the 227 precepts. I would truly like to know what the word sila, precept, means. How important are the precepts? Why do we need to keep the precepts? Answer. By Venerable Datta Jiva Bhikkhu. You are a lawyer. In this world, countries can coexist because everyone obeys the law. Laws are what inform us what we can and cannot do. What we do and what we don't. Laws exist to protect people from each of us violating each other's rights. If someone crosses the line for whatever reason, there are consequences. In order to prevent these consequences from occurring in the world, there must be laws controlling people's actions. There are civil laws, criminal laws, and other laws. But in Buddhism, the Lord Buddha taught the precepts for similar reasons. To engage in a comparison, the precepts are the mechanism for controlling our physical actions and our speech. The precepts frame our behavior, controlling our deeds so that our wrong actions, sins, will not adversely impact our minds. The precepts also stop us from causing others torment. First we must look at the meaning of the precepts. Precepts, sila, is not Thai but from an Indian language. Sila, precept, translates as common or natural. Common or natural are such familiar words. So we have to ask what these words mean. Things in their normal state, their inherent condition, are common or natural. For example, our bodies usually maintain a temperature of 37 degrees Celsius. If the temperature is higher or lower than this, the person is ill, the condition is abnormal. The Lord Buddha taught us the standard for our physical and mental behavior. There are 5 principles. In our physical actions, It is normal for us not to kill, not to steal, and not to engage in sexual relations with someone who is not your spouse. Anyone who goes beyond any of these three principles has behaved in an abnormal physical manner. This is morally wrong and a mental flaw as well. When the behavior is abnormal like this, it is an invitation for sin to enter you because it clouds the mind. At the same time, we usually speak truthfully to one another. We do not lie. But when we speak falsehoods with one another, this is abnormal. When a person lies to another, this clouds the mind, contaminates it. The actions, karma, of clouded mind push us into actions which cause further damage of many kinds. The Lord Buddha taught us to continually maintain our normal and natural state. This means not killing, not stealing, not engaging in sexual relations with someone who is not your spouse, and not lying. These four tenets will remain with us when we are mindful. When we lose our mindfulness, the normal condition of maintaining these four tenets will disappear. Mindfulness can be defeated by intoxicants, alcohol and drugs. Alcohol and drugs destroy mindfulness. Alcohol and drugs lead people to break the four tenets, to behave abnormally. So the Lord Buddha added the fifth principle of not consuming intoxicants. What is the importance of keeping the five precepts? Primarily, the precepts prevent us from committing wrong actions that harm others. They stop us from harming ourselves. Anyone who considers killing another person or animal, just this thought by itself causes distress. To actually kill produces anguish and torment because this only resigns the killer to the same fate later. To steal and cheat others, to dupe another, beware because you will suffer the adverse consequences of these actions. To have an affair with someone else's child, with someone else's spouse, these are people beloved by someone, people someone feels possessive about. Sometimes the bad results of these actions will create immediate problems. Sometimes the results will be indirect, coming in the form of an illness such as AIDS. By controlling ourselves with the precepts, we prevent crises from occurring in our lives. First, we prevent ourselves from suffering. Second, we do not cause others to suffer. By fully maintaining the five precepts, we become prepared to perform good actions of many other types. When the five precepts are combined with the worldly laws that you have studied or that you use in your job, when these two things are combined, they are a force for the stability of nations. But the main benefit of keeping the five precepts is for yourself because they prevent you from going astray. There are even finer ways to keep the precepts: 8 precepts, 10 precepts, 227 precepts. These precepts are called Silaprad, for religious observance. They are used to eliminate the defilements. So the use of precepts can be divided into 2 stages. The 5 precepts create the foundation for goodness, preventing the defilements from arising. The 8 precepts and 10 precepts are even better than the 5 precepts. They eliminate the defilements, expunging them to ever deeper degrees depending on the determination of the one keeping the precepts. Therefore, during the rainy season monastic retreat, the monks who keep the Silaprad, 227 precepts, at all times, should not be the only ones keeping the Silaprad. You should emulate them during this period too. Keeping only the 5 precepts during the rainy season monastic retreat is too little. For those of you who regularly go to the temple, it would be wise to keep the 8 precepts. If you have the opportunity, it would be excellent to ordain as a novice, 10 precepts, or a monk, 227 precepts, with me. You can join us for the next rainy season monastic retreat. If I am determined to keep the 5 precepts fully as Luang Fa explained about the sweetened tamarind, what will I receive as a result? Question. I would like to know, if I am determined to keep the 5 precepts fully as Luang Fa explained about the sweetened tamarind, what will I receive as a result? Answer. by Venerable Datta Jiva Bhikkhu. When we fully maintain the precepts, when we assimilate the precepts into our lives completely, without keeping them on and off, without having only a semi-sweet tamarind, when the tamarind is fully sweetened. If the precepts are fully sweetened, the Lord Buddha has taught us that this has many benefits. In summary, there are 3 tenets of keeping the precepts. Every time we receive the precepts from the monks will conclude by preaching about the benefits of keeping the precepts. And then you will accept the teachings by saying sadhu. These are the 3 tenets. The precepts, sila, cultivate good results. Let me illustrate using the Pali language so that the concept of the precepts cultivating good results is clear. In vernacular language, salani means to make happen. When a person is fully determined and commits his life to keeping the precepts, the following outcomes will occur. First, the cultivation good results or a worthy future. How can keeping the precepts bring a better future? It is definitely good. Think about this. By keeping the precepts, you do not need to consult the lawyer. You can be sure you will stay out of jail. You will not go to jail in this life. We do not need to speak of your next life. In this life, you do not need to spend time in jail. Therefore, the meaning of good results is that keeping the precepts will create a good future for you in this life. There will not be bad karma or dangers. In your next life you will not go to hell. If you return in your next life as a human, you will not have enemies. You will not have enemies because you did not do anything to produce vengeful intentions in others. Wherever you go, people will show kindness to you. This is clear. Second, Silena Bhaga Sampada means the precepts create wealth and valuable things. Or it can be translated as meaning the precepts build up the full potential of our wealth and possessions. How does this happen, the precepts creating wealth? You can look at advertisements for employment. There is no advertisement that calls for an applicant who enjoys killing, who enjoys stealing, who enjoys adultery, who likes to go out partying at night, who likes to lie, who likes to get drunk. All these violations of the precepts, no employer will hire these kinds of people. Employers want employees who keep the precepts. So a person who keeps the precepts and who has the right qualifications and skills in other areas, even if these qualifications and skills are equal to other applicants, will surely be selected by the employer. Therefore, Sila will enhance a person's wealth easily. Is this clear? Or consider the case that you do not need to be another's employee and work for yourself. If you are self-employed and keep the precepts, if you do not waste your time drinking, you will have plenty of time to work. The good results of Sila will create wealth easily. Moreover, the precepts build up the full potential of our wealth. This sounds implausible. Think this way, a person who is very rich and who says he drinks alcohol daily feels he does not use up much of his money. He is not in bad shape. But by drinking a lot his liver fails, his kidneys fail. When the liver and kidneys fail, later the stomach fails. So a person can have billions yet not realize the full potential of his, her riches. If the stomach fails, how can a person satisfy his, her hunger? Going off to have an affair with another person's wife or daughter, no matter how many affairs he has, he will not be fulfilled because he will fear that the husband or father will seek and locate him. This is an example. So in any case, if you violate the precepts, no matter whether you are wealthy or not, he will not be fulfilled. Is this clear? So a person who keeps the precepts fully, even if he or she is not rich, the wealth he or she has will be used to its potential. Feel free to use this wealth without worry. Thirdly, Silena Yandi means to have morality as a vehicle for liberation, to achieve nirvana. When we tell people that keeping the precepts will lead us to nirvana, some people say they do not want to keep the precepts because they fear nirvana. Nirvana or Nibbuding has many levels. What is the initial level of nirvana? The precepts bring our minds to rest. Keeping the precepts creates mental peace and a sense of refreshment. You do not need to fear anything. The first stage of nirvana is cool and peaceful. When you continue to maintain the precepts more diligently and deeply, we will become fully sweetened with the precepts. Even if someone puts a knife to our throat or puts a gun to our head to perform some evil act, it is better to die than to violate the precepts. If our minds are resolute, nirvana awaits a person like this. People whose minds are resolute in this way find it easy to be mindful. When mindfulness arises, the power of the securely maintained precepts means that when we close our eyes, our minds are bright as the midday sun. This brightness will enable us to see the defilements in our minds. When we have seen the defilements, we can eliminate them. This occurs because we can see the defilements with the power of our mental brightness. Sooner or later, when you have eliminated the defilements, you will attain nirvana, following the Lord Buddha. Therefore, you must diligently maintain the precepts. The foundation of your existence will be good in this life. Later, when you have deeply incorporated the precepts, wealth will come to you easily, and you will use your wealth to its full potential. Moreover, from this moment on for the rest of your life will be peaceful and cool. You will not have bad karma and be free from misfortune. Nirvana will be waiting for you. The Lord Buddha loves you. What are Silavata, religious or monastic precepts? How are they different from the 5 precepts? Question. I heard Luang Fa talk about Silavata, religious or monastic precepts. What are they? How are they different from the 5 precepts? Answer. By Venerable Dattajiva Bhikkhu. What are the Silavata? How are they different from the 5 precepts? At first, Silavata are the precepts that emphasize the monk's precepts, which are different from people who only maintain 5 precepts. You understand the 5 precepts already. Normally people only maintain the 5 precepts. It's enough for them. But for a person about to ordain as a monk, a person who will do away with all his defilements, 5 precepts are inadequate. He must maintain the Silavata precepts beyond the 5 precepts. What are the Silavata? I will discuss those momentarily. Consider this first. Why is it necessary to distinguish between the precepts for common people and the precepts for those who will ordain? Soldiers have 2 levels at which they perform good deeds. When an enemy attacks, the thing a soldier will do first is to defend his group, his army, his men's lives. He must do this first. He cannot let the enemy destroy these things. In simple terms, he must defend his borders, his country. Even if he cannot destroy his enemies, he cannot allow the enemy to trespass onto his territory. This is goodness for a soldier's decency. He must maintain his base, though this is only goodness at a basic level. So what is the higher level of goodness for a soldier? When a soldier has the opportunity to invade the enemy's lands, to annihilate and demolish his enemy, to take over large amounts of his enemy's territory, to eliminate his enemy completely, this is the higher level of goodness for a soldier. Is this clear? So we are the same way. Keeping the 5 precepts as we do on typical days counts as goodness at the basic level for people. We hold off the defilements. We do not let them put pressure on us. On Buddhist days, for some people the day before and for others the day itself, we want to perform good deeds like a monk. Why do monks ordain? They ordain to drive out, to attack and eliminate their defilements completely. These people are copying their teachers. On the day before Buddhist day, on the day itself, for at least that day, or 8 days, or 15 days, or whatever number of days, they maintain the Silavata like Luang Fa. How do you do this? Go from 5 to 8 precepts. What is the 6th precept? After 12 noon, we do not consume any food. At most we drink a little bit of a beverage. This is enough. For what reason? because it is considered that 2 meals daily are enough for us to live. As for the third meal, if we chant, pray, maintain the precepts, and meditate, we do not use much energy. So 2 meals are enough. So what is the seventh precept? A person cannot dance or sing. A person cannot use makeup on the eyes, put on lipstick, or use cosmetics on the face. A person cannot watch a play, soap opera, movie, musical, or any other type of performance. This precept keeps our minds from becoming distracted. Every time we watch these things, even though the man lacks good looks, he still wants to become an actor. It is like this every time he sees an actor. Women also. Even when they are not attractive, they watch plays, shows, movies, and they start to think they could be actresses. Their minds are distracted. Therefore, no more. Stay away from these things. What is the eighth precept? Do not sleep on thick, soft bedding. Do not do this. Your mind will be distracted easily. When we maintain the sixth, seventh, and eighth precepts, it helps keep our minds from distraction. This is especially true for teenagers. They are easily distracted by sexual matters. Lust arises easily in teenagers. As a result, when our grandparents and great-grandparents reach the right age, they start to go to the temple. They maintain the precepts easily. When the oldest child marries, whether it is a daughter or a son that gets married, the parents quickly enter the temple and maintain the 8 precepts. Why? Because they are preparing to be grandparents. They must be examples of ethical behavior for their children to see. So beyond adding the 6th, 7th, and 8th precepts, the 3rd precept, part of the 5 precepts, says be satisfied with your spouse. Do not commit adultery. When a person maintains the 8 precepts, the seal of it, he or she is bringing this 3rd precept to a higher level. Even though he or she has a spouse, he or she does not sleep with her spouse. He or she behaves like a monk, like Luang Fa. He copies Luang Fa. He or she is ready? How is he or she ready? He or she is prepared to ordain with Luang Fa. This is the seal of it. What are the seal of it? They are the precepts intended to conquer the defilements. They are not just the 5 precepts which hold the defilements at bay. If you ask how they differ from one another, the 5 precepts repel the defilements. The seal of it demolish the defilements so that nothing remains of them. Someone asked me, the objective of maintaining the 8 precepts is to be celibate. If he is able to maintain the 3rd precept, the other subordinate precepts such as the 6th, 7th, and 8th precepts, he does not need to maintain those. Is this true? Question. Someone asked me, the objective of maintaining the 8 precepts is to be celibate. If he is able to maintain the 3rd precept, the other subordinate precepts such as the 6th, 7th, and 8th precepts, he does not need to maintain those. Is this true? Answer. By Venerable Datta Jiva Bhikkhu. Whatever you are doing, treat the precepts as a set. Do not go down this path. When the Lord Buddha was about to pass on the wisdom of each of the precepts, he gave them careful consideration. The Lord Buddha has one characteristic which is widely known: he did not speak or say anything that lacked substance. He did not speak idly. He did not say anything unnecessary, even the most minor of words. He spoke only what was necessary and nothing more. This is the ethical conduct of the Lord Buddha. Therefore, the fact that the Lord Buddha established the 5 precepts followed by the 8 precepts means that they were truly necessary. It is not possible to cut out any of the Lord Buddha's precepts. Why is this not possible? You must see the basic principle behind this. The 6th, 7th, and 8th precepts were established. Do you see that monks have 227 precepts? This is more than 5 precepts. I can tell you that the precepts at this level exist to destroy and eliminate the defilements so that there is no trace of them left. when you must eliminate and wipe out all traces of the defilements. This is the type of action that you can perform carelessly, perfunctorily. The defilements are already in our minds. From our day of birth, we have mental defilements. They are a seed buried in our minds. They constantly seek ways to strengthen. They put us under constant pressure. If they cannot cause problems for us, they have bait to tempt us. Who will tempt us? There is a Buddhist maxim, the Maras use bait to entice us. You probably understand the term bait. Bait means to use a small thing in order to capture a big thing. Fishermen use bait on their hooks as lures. What are they luring? Big fish. They place little fish on their hooks as bait. Then the big fish come and bang, they're snared. The fishermen get the big fish to cook. This is the meaning of bait. We only know about fish bait. But we do not know about the bait that tempts the minds of human beings. The Lord Buddha clearly pointed out the things that entice human minds. What are these things? There are the temptations of the eyes. Beautiful pictures entice us. Our eyes are attracted to them. We see pretty things which entice us. Our eyes are pleased. The feeling goes straight to our minds. Our minds become so unsettled. We are caught in the trap. We cannot sleep. Pleasant sounds tempt our ears. This is bait for our ears. We are attracted to the sounds and our minds become attached. We cannot sleep once again. When a pleasant aroma reaches our nostrils, our minds are distracted once again. Let tasty food entice you. When the food has only just touched your tongue, your mind has become distracted. Let soft, comfortable things tempt you. These are bait for your body, which then stick in your mind. You cannot sleep. You must seek out something or someone to comfort you. The objective of maintaining the seal of it is that we want to completely eliminate the defilements so none of them remain. When none of the defilements remain, you must eliminate the enticements, the bait that tempts you. Here is the sixth precept. Cut out one meal. It is bait for your palate. You cannot use eyeliner, cannot put on lipstick, cannot sing, cannot see any kind of entertainment. What is this? Bait for your eyes, bait for your ears, bait for your nose, bait for your body. You cannot sleep on thick, soft, comfortable bedding. What is this? This is bait for your body. When you get attached to these temptations, what is the result? Your mind is distracted. What happens when your mind is distracted? You cannot sleep. You twist and turn. You cannot sleep. This is how these enticements lure you. Therefore, if someone is determined to maintain the 8 precepts by thinking that not violating the 3rd precept is good enough, that the 6th, 7th, and 8th precepts do not have to be kept, right? Tell this person no, this cannot be. If a person does not maintain the 6th, 7th, and 8th precepts well, he will fall prey to temptation. The 3rd precept will be violated easily. The temptation will be too difficult to resist. Anyone who succumbs to the bait that entices our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and body, no matter how many precepts you are maintaining, it will be difficult to continue maintaining them. You may not be able to maintain any precepts. Do not even speak of the 8 precepts. The 5 precepts would be difficult enough to maintain as it is. Therefore, you must maintain the precepts, remain celibate. Or start by keeping the 8 precepts. Do not make any exceptions. Do not try to bargain, to ask Luang Pho if 7 precepts are all right. No. Can it just be 6 precepts, Luang Pho? No, it cannot. If you maintain the 5 precepts, maintain all 5. If you maintain the 8 precepts, maintain all 8. Do not haggle, please. If you haggle, you will succumb to temptation. Diligently apply yourself to breaking away from the temptations. Then you can annihilate the Maras and completely eliminate the defilements so that no trace of them remain, doing so easily in all of your lives. I want to have all of you keep this in mind. In some eras when people had fewer defilements than is the case presently, in that era the Lord Buddha only taught the 8 precepts. Monks in that era only maintained the 8 precepts and were able to become arhants, enlightened ones. For those of us now, our defilements are a bit heavy. Monks nowadays must maintain 227 precepts. So compliance with the 8 precepts is good. Prepare yourself.
I have never known how to love myself until I meditated.
I found my goal in life through meditation.
Meditation has made me a calmer, more easygoing person, and that makes it better for my wife and for everyone else.
Meditation helped me be a better person.
Meditation has helped me find the answers within myself instead of the long searching and the longing outside of myself.
In the search for inner peace, peace seekers from 9 countries have come together to meditate in the Middle Way Advanced course. During the past month, these participants of various countries, languages, and cultures have united as one family. They followed a daily regimen of activities free of conflict. Moreover, the happiness everyone gained through meditation has sparked a love in their hearts and a great wish to share the knowledge of inner peace with others. And with this great love and great wish, 14 people have decided to become the Middle Way Meditation Coaches, or MMCs. They realize that to create world peace, they must begin with the transformation of their own minds. By closing the eyes gently, keeping the mind still at the center of the body. This is the development of a great power that will transition humanity to a new era of meditation.
So if every person in the world can learn about meditation and so find inner peace, we will understand that there is no need to fight against each other. We will be more compassionate for each other, and our greed will be less, and all anger and hatred will reduce. So we will live together much more peaceful.
I realized that my biggest desire is to see this world in peace. And I thought, wow, that's difficult. There's nothing I can do about it. And then I thought, yes, there's one thing I can do. And that is, I can find inner peace myself. If I do that, everybody can do it, because then it would be very easy just to work with ourselves. When we want to change the world, we can only do it if we change ourselves.
Every day, all the members of this large family will perform their merit duties joyfully. In the past, it would not have been easy for each person to clean a toilet or clean one's house. But after they were trained to understand the concepts of Buddhist culture, which are transmitted in all cleansing tasks, these activities filled their minds with tranquility. They have learned to become the giver. They have learned to share. Even though they were new to this, they were still impressed. Every activity stimulated them to practice further and to keep their minds still at the center all the time.
It was an exciting time, believe it or not, of doing chores. It changed my whole perception of chores, or that word. We were first shown how to mindfully fold clothes and
how to mindfully clean a toilet and to sweep in the rooms and different things that I have taken advantage of or taken for granted at home.
So chores are not chores anymore, not just chores, but it's a reminder that we can connect with what we do from the center. And that way, you are not just cleaning a toilet or doing laundry, you are actually giving great service.
The activities during the training impressed and always brought out joyful smiles in our large family, such as the alms offering, which was organized to raise our spirits, create love, and bring understanding to the practice of generosity and the correct way of giving. These experiences helped cultivate in us the practice of Buddhist culture, which can be conveyed to people in our home countries so that they can practice it correctly and beautifully.
Another very important experience for me was the almsgivings we did. And the almsgiving to monks is so peaceful and cheering up, giving joy and delight to me, so that I like it very much to give alms to monks.
You are practicing to give food to the monks, not just for them to survive, but to preserve their bodies and their minds, to preserve the teachings. We are here humbly asking the monks to be our teachers. We come with a humble heart, open to learn, and by doing or performing this ceremony, it's very humbling just to know that we are blessed by being here and receiving the teachings directly from them. Doing that, it was more than just giving the food, but it's a practice of generosity. It's a practice in which you get connected with the center of your being, and you are feeling joy by practicing generosity.
In our spare time, we would discuss the Dhamma lessons we learned from the teaching monks. If we found that we did not fully understand a particular topic, we would ask the teaching monks to address the topic before we started meditating. All the lessons we learned fostered clarity in our meditation practice, instilling in us an eagerness to meditate. During the past month, our meditation experiences have developed continuously. Our inner experiences have amazed us and brought changes to our lives, which initially brought us a feeling of happiness and good wishes towards all members of humanity and the animal kingdom. Suffering, disappointment, anger, and inner conflicts have disappeared from our minds. The more we meditate, the more we find inner peace.
And when I closed my eyes for my meditation, I ended up in the bright light, which I understand, and then there was this huge crystal ball, and it was full of water, and I was in it. I was in the water, and I was able to breathe in the water. So I'm sitting in this water, and it's crystal clear, and I can see outside of the crystal ball, and then the ball started floating with me in it, and we went everywhere. I mean, I went all over the place, and it was so amazing because I kept looking around going, I can breathe in this water. It was exciting. One of the things they keep saying over and over again is, I'm not the director, I'm not the actor or the actress, I am the observer. And so to be able to sit back and watch this experience and know that it's going on within me and be able to accept it without fighting it is truly a gift.
I felt the power from inside arising and floating through me, no body, no feelings, nothing. It was completely still, nothingness, only brightness, and like coming again, and increasingly. And my happiness was pulling me out to be so large, expanded. So I stayed in this stadium very long, very happy, very bright. Nothing happened, only this. I was so happy.
From Life of a Scattered Jigsaw, the Middle Way Advanced course has organized and connected those cluttered pieces into a complete picture. From not realizing the true goal in life, we now have the same goal with great determination and vision to become an MMC and teach meditation to locals in all 208 countries. And this may very well be one of the greatest challenges of our lives.
I had to find the answer within to find that one piece in the jigsaw puzzle of my life that would finally click into place and make me happy. And I was missing that one piece. But since I came here, I know for sure that I found it. Thanks to Luang Por, I have the perfect vehicle to take this knowledge and be able to spread it to all my friends and family and all the people in my country. He came up with the MMC program, and it fits perfectly with me. I've always wanted to help Luang Por change the world. I always wanted to make a difference. You know how they always say that one person can make a difference, but together I know that we can all join hands and can change the world if we all work together and learn how to meditate.
And in my mind, I know that if I could take this information back to them and teach them how to go to the source where the problem is, it's not about the parents, it's not about the family, it's about that pain or whatever they carry inside of them. And so the bullying can stop. The threatening and the hitting and the beating of each other, you know, and the stuff that they do to each other out of pain, it could stop. It could literally be stopped.
When I heard about the MMC program, oh my God, it's wonderful because this dream of changing the world takes every one of us individually, just that. But if you are just one piece of the whole puzzle, then it's possible. And if you have tools to encourage other people, to help other people, because I'm sure that we all want that. But sometimes we just need a little push, right? Sometimes we just need to see other people wanting the same thing that you want. And then that little sparks becomes a big flame. And so I think it's wonderful, not just to have the dream, but to be able to do it, to have the support of Luang Por Dhammajiyo, to have the support of this big peace movement to change the world. That is something that I want to be part of. There is hope for people like us that want to see real, true peace, starting with ourselves and bringing it out to the world. I'm very happy. That too.
World peace begins with inner peace found through meditation. Let's join together to lead humankind towards a new life as people throughout the world are waiting for this opportunity. They are waiting for an MMC to guide them, waiting to enter this new era with meditation, because meditation is the true power that will change the world.
Before starting your IPT session, I would like to tell you that IPT is a time of inner peace which can be achieved by means of meditation. Meditation is a practice to focus the mind at one place inside the body for an extended period of time. It is the mind cleansing process, so whoever has the mind can practice meditation. That is why meditation is for all, regardless of religion, race, or nationality. It is the same as we enjoy the same sun, the same moon, or the same star, whether we are Buddhist, Christian, Muslim, Hindu, or atheist. You can also check out the benefits meditation brings you physically, mentally, and spiritually from many websites. The question is, how to prepare yourself for meditation? Because meditation is the art and science, so we need to deal with it properly. Come close to look at these tips. After a long day of hectic schedule from work or study, traveling or shopping, you need to take some time off for yourself. Please tell yourself, I will relax my body and mind now for the betterment of myself and those around me. Don't rush into it. Check out the following key factors. Check your physical well-being. Am I so sleepy? Or too tired from the long day? Refresh your body by drinking a glass of water. Or even take a shower. Wear comfortable attire. You can also do some stretching or short yoga exercise. Then find your private zone. We recommend a quiet place without much distraction, like the area where children play or a dog barks. Check your sitting position, which will have direct effect on your inner experience. No need to be too tough to yourself. If you could put your right leg over your left and sit on the floor, that would be the perfect position as long as you don't feel any pain. The key point is to sit comfortably. No problem if you want to sit on the chair or on a sofa, as long as you keep your back straight. And put your hands on your lap with the tip of the right index finger touching the tip of the left thumb. Then close your eyes gently as if you're falling asleep and relax every muscle in your body. Check your mental and spiritual well-being. For beginners, we recommend you to start your session with a guided meditation. Try not to think about your work, study, or any affairs during your meditation. Meditation is not a contemplation or analytical process. It won't help anybody, especially yourself. Let all thoughts go for a while. Everything will be okay afterwards. Learn to be neutral. Stop and be still at the center of the body, 2 fingers width above the navel. You can also visualize the mental object at the center of the body and repeat the mantra, clear and bright, out of the center of that object when you have many thoughts coming up. Try to maintain your relaxation throughout the session. Remember, the key is to be conscious in a relaxing way. Tips for meditation. 1. Recommended time for meditation is after you wake up and before you go to bed. 2. Avoid meditating on the bed because it is easy to sleep while meditating. Three, to be able to sit long, you may need some cushion to support your back to keep it straight. 4, please do not lie down when you practice meditation. It is incorrect. 5, check out from the start whether you lift your shoulder up without realizing it, or squeeze your eyes too much as if you're getting to use your eyes in meditation. 6, if you feel it is too difficult to visualize the mental object at the center of the body, try this way. Imagine it on your head first. Can you? Okay, great. Then behind you. Can you? Great. Then it goes inside now from your mouth down to your stomach. And that is it. Can you do that? See? Not difficult at all. So simple. 7, please do not exercise too much before doing meditation because it will make you fall asleep easily during meditation. 8, please do not watch horror movies, heavy metal songs, or soap opera series, or anything that may make you emotional and could make your mind wander. 9, try to exercise your mind during the day to help it get used to the center of the body by feeling sabai at the center of the body throughout the day with your open eyes. 10, be still with closed eyes for a minute every hour. That's how we recollect our mind from wandering outward too much. Remember that meditation is to relax your mind. If you feel content, happy, and satisfied, it's correct even if you just sit still with closed eyes. That's the magic meditation brings. It is the simplest thing on earth that you never expect to be that basic. Be as innocent as a baby, and you'll have a taste of it sooner. I hope you enjoy meditation from now on.
So if you'd like to start by closing your eyes very gently, closing your eyes in much the same way you might close your eyes to go to sleep. And adjust your body to be comfortable enough to sit for a long time without having to move around too much. In order to relax and also to slow down, you might like to take a few deep breaths to yourself, breathing in to the full extent of your lungs, and then breathing slowly and smoothly out again. Once again, breathing the cool, refreshing air from around you. And as you breathe out, perhaps feeling that you're letting go of any worries or concerns you might previously have had. From there we do our normal pre-flight check by checking down through the whole of our body to make sure each and every muscle is properly relaxed. So relaxing the muscles of our forehead, releasing any tension in the muscles there. Relaxing our eyebrows and our eyelids. taking special care to make sure that the way we've closed our eyes is as light and gentle as possible. And allowing the muscles of our face to become soft. Not clenching our teeth together. But relaxing our jaw, taking care not to purse our lips. From there we relax our neck. If we find there's tension in our shoulders, we allow our shoulders to drop to their natural height. For relaxing both arms, our forearms, and then our hands and fingers. So that the way our hands rest in our lap is as light and gentle as possible. From there we relax all the muscles of our torso, our chest, our trunk and abdomen, with particular care to release any tension across our stomach. Then we relax both legs, all the way down to our feet and our toes, until there's anywhere between the top of our head and the tips of our toes, where we feel that there's any remaining stress or tension anymore. If we do notice anywhere where tension seems to linger on, we do our best to relax it as far as possible, almost to the point where our whole body seems to melt away into the atmosphere around us, so that we have no more worries about our body anymore. And we can turn our attention again to relaxing the feeling on the inside of us, the sense of warmth and well-being, and that sense of inner space. And even this inner state of mind of ours is something that we can relax further if we are able to let go for a few moments of all the possible worries and concerns that might be in our everyday life. Almost as if right from the moment we stepped inside this meditation center, we have left behind all those normal worries and urgencies in our lives. By emptying this baggage from our mind, it's as if we free up space in our mind for the deeper processes of mind to come to the fore. So we try our best not to dwell on any regrets from our past, and similarly not to let the mind skip ahead to plans for the future. We remain wholly in the present moment, according to the principles of mindfulness, having our mind on what we're doing right now, focusing on the task in hand. And if we find that our mind is still distracted by the things around us, we gather our attention back from all those other possible distractions around us to a single place of peace and serenity on the inside. As if there were a safe place inside us, like a sanctuary, where for as long as the mind remains within, it's somehow protected from the impacts of the outside world, like being inside a bunker. Although you may still be aware of what's going on around you, but somehow it no longer disturbs the mind. And it allows the mind to absorb the sense of peace, happiness and serenity. That is the nature of this inner space, filling the mind more and more, as if with tiny particles of happiness and joy, which fill the mind and eventually extend throughout the body and mind, leaving no space in the mind for any other sort of thought. And when we feel relaxed and refreshed, both in body and in mind, very gently, using no effort at all, we imagine that inside our body is just an empty space or a hollow cavity, without any organs or tissues, without any muscles or bones. Some of you may prefer to imagine the body as being like a transparent bubble with nothing on the inside. Some people who've been meditating longer experience the inner space to be something like an empty cavity, as if the body has disappeared completely. It's like inhabiting a space of one's own creation. But whatever your experience of this inner space, you may allow the focus of your attention to drift slowly downwards on your midline, floating slowly downwards until it comes to rest somewhere around the area of your abdomen, on the level of your diaphragm, around the same place where the breath reaches its deepest point. And once your attention settles at that point, you may choose for yourself the way in which you would like to maintain your attention at that point. For some people, simply bringing the mind into place, aligning it with this point at the center of the body, will already give rise spontaneously to images or feelings in the mind, which we can then adopt as the object of our practice. If that's the case, then we simply follow, observing without thinking, whatever is there to be seen or felt, and that becomes our meditation practice. For others, it may be necessary to conjure up some sort of object of your own, either a visual object such as that of the shining sun we had a few moments ago, or an object that we can feel, perhaps like that invisible fruit mentioned earlier, as if that object is now established at the center of our body. We maintain the object in mind as continuously as we can for as long as we can. And is what inevitably will happen, the mind gets distracted away from the center, then we simply bring it back again each and every time. If our initial object disappears, then we can conjure up a new one. Apart from that, we rest the mind lightly and gently, always at the center of whatever we perceive. As for the possible problem of there being a lot of thoughts in the mind, sometimes if the thoughts are not too numerous, we can actually get away with simply ignoring the thoughts, not giving them the time of day. And starved of attention, then normally the thoughts will die down and eventually disappear by themselves. If the thoughts are particularly persistent in the mind, it may be necessary to revert to our mantra, the words Samma Arahang, Samma Arahang, Samma Arahang, over and over again, lightly, gently, and continuously, acting as a way to keep our mind on target, the center of the body, but also helping to reduce the number of thoughts in the mind down to a manageable level. So our meditation consists generally of two things. Firstly, some sort of inner object, as a way of keeping the mind at the center of the body. And secondly, some means of reducing the thoughts in the mind, which may or may not include a mantra. And what is always important to remember with meditation, as we often tend to forget in our enthusiasm to reach some sort of progress, is that we need to be very gentle with the mind. Because the mind is a very subtle object and responds best to extreme gentleness. So if we suspect that we are using too much force with the mind, we might try reducing the effort we're using by to use only 1/10 of what we've been using up until now. And generally, if we use a great lightness of touch in our meditation, we'll find that there's a qualitative change in the way our mind feels, which will help to open up the mind, make the mind seem somehow softer and more yielding, in a way that opens up the way for the mind to go deeper. So we cultivate our attention in this way, lightly and gently, each to our own practice now for a few more moments in silence until we come to the appropriate time. Sama Arahang over and over again, lightly, gently and continuously, helping to lead the mind deeper at that central point. If you find your attention wandering away to other things, each time you realize, simply bring your attention back again. To that inner object as before. If you find the object has disappeared, you can always imagine a new one. If the inner object has somehow changed, then simply follow it in its new form. There's no need to change it back to what it was before. In the meantime, continue to maintain your mind at the center of whatever you can perceive, lightly and gently, as continuously as you can, till eventually you have a feeling as if there's a sense of connectedness that builds up between the mind and the center of the body. At that point, to remain centered will almost become second nature for us. Continue in this way for a few more moments in silence until we come to the appropriate time. continue to maintain our attention at the center of our body the whole of the time. Always at the center of whatever inner experience we have built up for ourselves as a result of the meditation so far this evening. For some people, the meditation may have given rise to a sense of brightness within, in which case we can place our mind very gently at the center of that brightness, in a way that the brightness expands outwards from the central point to fill the whole of our own body. For others it may be some sort of inner feeling, perhaps a feeling of well-being or happiness or warmth. In the same way we place our attention at the very center of that feeling, in a way the feeling extends outwards to fill the whole of our body. Others still, there may be imagery on the inside. We place our attention at the very center of the image. In that way we allow it to expand outwards in size until it fills the whole of our own body. The process of expansion is something we call the spreading of loving kindness. And we do this while making the wish at the center of our body that we may be well and happy, free from all suffering. And then from our center we allow the loving kindness, in whatever form it may take, to extend beyond the boundaries of our own body, reaching outwards to the whole of the meditation hall, further outwards to the whole of the meditation center, to touch all the living beings within the meditation center. And we wish at the center of our body that all these living beings may be well and happy, free from all suffering, live together in peace and harmony. We extend our loving kindness further still outwards, the whole of Azusa, still to the whole of LA, with the wish from our center that all living beings within the city be well and happy, free from all suffering, live together in peace and harmony. Further still to the whole of California, to its neighboring states, eventually all the states of America. The wish that every living being in this country be well and happy, free from all suffering, live together in peace and harmony. And it may be easier to extend loving kindness as if across the surface of a map seen in bird's eye view. We extend loving kindness to the whole of the continent. Further still to all the continents of the world, until our loving kindness extends across the whole of our planet, with the wish that all living beings, whether on the land, in the air or in the sea, be well and happy, free from all suffering, live together in peace and harmony, and true peace might prevail on our planet within our own lifetimes. We can extend loving kindness further outwards into the universe around us in all 6 quarters. Extending loving kindness in the forward direction. Extending loving kindness behind us. Extending loving kindness to the left. And extending loving kindness to the right. We extend loving kindness above us. And we extend loving kindness below. And our loving kindness becomes almost like a boundless love. A love without limits. A universal love. Extending to all living beings wherever they may be found, always with a wish from our center that those living beings be well and happy, free from suffering, live together in peace and harmony. And we can extend loving kindness for particular people, perhaps to loved ones, towards those for whom we feel a debt of gratitude, towards those still alive, and to those who have already passed. Extend loving kindness in this way for the last few moments of our meditation together.พุทธาปรปัตตาปัจเจกานันจะยัมพลังอรหันตานันจะเตเชนะระคัมปันตามิสัพพโสสัพพพุทธานุปาเวนะสัพพธัมมานุปาเวนะสัพพสังฆานุปาเวนะสัทธาโสธีปะวันทุเท So if you'd like to come to the end of your meditation for this evening, you can gradually open your eyes again. Feel a little uncomfortable, then slowly try changing to a more comfortable position before finishing your practice.